In this video, I'm going to go over the simple page of pad motion layers. If you're familiar with any of our other instruments, you'll notice that the very top section here and the lower section are exactly the same, if not very similar to our other instruments. We've got two pre-assigned LFOs. These are master LFOs, so they're going to affect the whole preset. You've got a modulation where you can turn off or on the mod wheel and the aftertouch, as well as changing the destination of what they're modulating. We have a low pass filter and a high pass filter. You can change the different types from these drop downs, and you have the cutoff and the resonance for each. You've got a pitch bend up and a pitch bend down, so you can dictate the range of the pitch bend wheel. You've got a master volume, and then an octave and a coarse. Now I'm briefly going to go over what makes this instrument unique compared to pad motion. Obviously they both share the name pad motion, but this one's just a little different in its architecture. In pad motion itself, you can have up to 4 main layers, and you can switch between them on a multi-layered preset. There's usually tabs right where my mouse is, and you can switch from layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. With pad motion layers, there's 4 different internal layers on one actual preset, and you can see them here: 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a lot like our other instruments cycle in respects to that. So one of the unique things about this is, unlike pad motion, where we also have a layer that you can use a synth on, an analog modeled synth, or even a wavetable, this doesn't have that. But what it does have is where you can combine 4 layers of either 4 samples, grain, or some mixture of the two. Another thing that's unique about this instrument is how we treated the modulation. It's a bit different than some of our other instruments and how we've usually set that up. I'll go over that in this video, and I'll also touch more on it in the video that we have over the advanced synth page. So going into this, we can see I'm just going to focus on layer 1 here, as all the layers and their parameters are the exact same. So we have a solo and a mute. This is very helpful when you're just trying to focus in on one sound that may be contributing to the overall sound. You can solo it, or maybe if it's offending anything, just mute it and see how you can better blend it in there. Then we have tons of content that you can choose from, sample content. It's the same amount of content that we have in pad motion itself. So it's over 900 different sample sources as it stands right now. And so you have so much that you can choose from there. In addition to that, this icon right here shows that you can actually drop in your own single samples. So let's say you have a sample, an audio file that you really would like to put in this engine. You can just drag it right on top of this menu here and drop it in. Now, as I said, it's only good for single samples. It won't work with multi-samples. I can change this layer between sample or grain from up here by just clicking these switches. Another comment I actually need to make on dragging in your own samples, you're going to want to tune them if they're not set at C3 or whatever. You can do that right here from the root key. Working our way down, we have volume, pan, tune, cutoff filter, the resonance, and the distortion. Each one of those are pretty self-explanatory. For the cutoff, you have plenty of different options there. And then for the distortion, you also have a few options here. And this leaves us then with just the modulation itself. So in this instrument, all the modulation has been pre-assigned. You still have options on how what you can affect. Even though it's been pre-assigned, it doesn't mean that it's completely active on everything that's been pre-assigned to. For instance, you can see there's an LFO, step modulator, and a user envelope. Right now the user envelope is on. Since it's on, you can see on the GUI the slider has actually brightened up. This indicates that it is active, that it is on. The amount, though, that's being sent to the tune is at 0, so you won't hear it affecting the tune at all. There's a little bit that's affecting the volume, as we can see from the slider itself. If I wanted it to affect, say, the filter, I can just adjust the slider to my desired amount. This goes the same with the LFO and the step modulator. I can just turn them on. As I turn them on, you can see the display brighten up a bit when they're turned on and active. I'll get more in detail on this in the next video on the advanced page. And the other thing that's unique about this is it's not just 4 layers, and this is something that we don't have in something like Cycle or Pad Motion itself, is you can balance the level between them all with this XY in the center by just going towards the proximity of the actual layer on the GUI. I am raising the volume or the level of that one layer and attenuating the others. In the center, you're hearing an equal balance of them all. Now you can also automate this by just right-clicking on where it says X or Y and learning it, and therefore you can automate it however you'd like. So that's a quick introduction to the simple page and this instrument itself. You can check out some of our other videos on this, as well as some of the more universal features of all our instruments like the arpeggiator MIDI player on our YouTube channel. Thanks.